With 9 Grammy Awards and 14 nominations, 38 concert tours worldwide, and 11 studio albums that span 4 decades, the Titans of Thrash remain the standard by which all other metal is measured. We begin with a 1984 classic from their second album, For Whom the Bell Tolls, followed by the 1992 tour anthem, Wherever I May Roam. And then, let's turn down the house and light up the stage for the Auburn University Marching Band and their show, Metallica.
War Eagle, everybody. We have got a late night reaction stream for you. Auburn defeats Texas A&M at home by the final score, and I believe, if my math is correct, quadruple overtime, 43-41. We're going to talk about the score, the stats, the storylines, plenty of them all coming up very late right now. War Eagle, everybody, welcome back to another edition of E2C Network Live, where we get together, we hang out in the wee hours of the morning and talk about the Auburn experience. What is the Auburn experience? We define it as Auburn sports, Auburn culture, Auburn family stuff, and to put a finer point on it, if it's orange and blue, it's what we do. So we thank you for joining us in what we do here this morning. It is morning. Believe it or not, we are past midnight in the main time zones with which most people in the Auburn family care about this type of thing. So good morning to you all. It is a late night stream that we're going to be tackling. For those of you that are brave enough to stick up with us, to stay up with us, I should say, late and do this live. If you're watching the replay, we appreciate you coming by. Apologies in advance for how long it took this to get going. Our original time was around 11, and as you knew, the game went beyond 11. And then the festivities went beyond 12, and so on and so forth. So, oh, my goodness, folks, we have got a lot to talk about, and honestly, I'm going to struggle to keep this something on a succinct path for us. Traditionally, I like to dive into stats first, just to give you a picture of what happened. I think most of you know, if not all, know what happened. Quadruple overtime. Auburn wins 43-41. If that wasn't enough of a headline for you, I think the biggest headline maybe that's not talked about is how we got to this. And I'm not just talking about the touchdowns and things like that, you know, those moments. But let's take this all the way back to the very beginning of this for our reaction stream. This was a huge matchup for Auburn, for implications for what it could have a slight chance to do to salvage something of this season. Texas A&M, who's trying to stay relevant in the picture. A beautiful day on campus, a beautiful day just in general for football, all the good feelings going around, and just an immaculate day in the stadium regardless. Then we get off to a 21, and you heard me right, a 21-0 lead at the half. Auburn is in control, rolling. But I think we all knew what was coming, and it did. Auburn gave up 21 points unanswered just after Texas A&M had done, and we were tied. They did score again. So did Texas A&M a couple times, including taking the lead. And then Auburn was able to go down and get a field goal when it looked like it was positioned to win it in regulation. And then overtime. This is the stuff of nightmares. I've watched other people go through it, other fan bases go through this ridiculous, terrifying way we do overtimes now. Oh, it's exciting. It's great to watch when you're not living it. But my gosh, I'm about dead. Obviously, we can dive into some more things here, but to finish to paint the picture for you all, Auburn wins in quadruple overtime, 41-43, and the bedlam ensued. We did charge the field. I was yelling and screaming the whole way down as I followed the crew I was sitting with. Are we really going to do this? Are we really going to storm the field about this? Yeah, we did. I got on the field. There's video out there, and there's still more to come. Let me just say this to everybody out there. The amount of content that I've got for you all that's just going to take some time to work through. But we did a pretty awesome halftime show, light show again tonight. That's going to get lost in this. Oh, by the way, this was the last game that you will see the old scoreboard in the north end zone. Oh, by the way, this is the last game with the Under Armour banner in there. So many things are going to get lost over in all of this just because of how crazy it all is. Anyway, let's talk about a few things. All right, I've gone on and on and on and on and on and on and on. So many of you were here early. I appreciate those of you that stopped by. I mean, wow, the chat really did pop off. I don't have time to go through all of it, so we'll kind of stay with what's currently being discussed. Corey says it was a beautiful thing to behold. Certainly, if you talk about, I assume we're talking about the storming of the, I think that's what we're talking about here, the storming of the field. If you keep it in context, we've all been talking about it. This is kind of overdone a little bit, and yes. But when you're in the moment of it, and you've had the kind of year that Auburn's had, woo, yes, you enjoy the heck out of it. The players enjoyed the heck out of it. And I just, I'm trying to remember which player it was to give credit to. It was one of our offensive linemen, I'm 99% sure. I think I've got a picture of him. He's going through the crowd, and he's clearly looking for someone, but as he goes along, people are congratulating him. He doesn't just say, "Oh, thank you," and go on. He says to several people as he was passing me, "Thank you guys sincerely for staying here. Thank you for staying with us." Like this, you can talk about feel-good stories. My goodness, feel-good stories abound in this thing. We can just continue to talk about that. Jacob says, sound like a downer right now. Sorry, I am starting to come down from the win high. Oh, don't worry about it. Don't come down from the high yet. Let that happen after that. Let's just enjoy what we got here right now. Talking about the offense finally clicking. So a lot of people are talking about the fine that Auburn will ensue because of storming the field. I think it's one of those things that probably every athletic department knows these days. These are what people want to do, so they're probably planning for it. Those poor shrubs. Those poor shrubs. TJ says, how am I supposed to sleep after that? I'm juiced. Here's the problem. So I've got to, I'm going to do the show with you guys. I've got to, this car is, the mobile broadcast studio, I should say, is just out of sorts. I'm out of sorts. I've got to spend about 30 minutes after you guys just kind of catching my breath, giving myself something to eat, and kind of reorganizing before I hit the road for about a 50-minute drive to where I'm staying tonight. Yeah. Anyway, let's over here. Okay. 41, 43. What do you guys want to talk about specifically about this game? I know that this is we're in a weird space for this reaction stream, because a lot of times when we have these bad losses, we don't really focus so much about the stats. So everybody just kind of wants to talk about their feelings and stuff. We're kind of in that same boat here, but I do want to talk about stories, stats, elements of the score that you all are interested in discussing. Those of you that are watching live, certainly, bring some of those up as we go along here. Tommy, no shots at players tonight. No shots at players tonight, sir. That's not necessary. No, I'm in a good mood, but don't put me in a bad mood. Anyway, okay, let's look at some stats tonight, because I don't think we've had any time to digest them at all. Let me find where I'm supposed to be in this thing. All right, Peyton Thorne tonight, 19 for 31, 301 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, with a passer rating of 157.7. Again, this is a very similar game where if Peyton doesn't have the one mistake that everybody's just going to hold over his head, it's a pretty great day. He did have several incompletions, which really brought his pass completion down a lot. But overall, pretty solid day for him. Produced some pretty beautiful balls, like up to, obviously utilizing the athletes. You have Cam Coleman getting some opportunities today. You know, it's really funny. Someone brings up right here, JB, KLS is our superhero. Certainly in the moment he is scoring the winning points for us. But where Cam in these last two games has certainly taken the lion's share of attention away, KLS continues to remind people that without me, we wouldn't even be here. It was pretty interesting. Also, along the with PT, you know, obviously we want to be fair and talk about the big mistake that he made tonight. That man was running for his life again. I say this with all, and you know, I just got done a little while ago talking about the offensive lineman that was going through the crowd, sincerely thanking everyone, not just saying, "Oh, thanks." You know, he's like, "Look at you, thank y'all." Like his words came out of his mouth, "Thank you sincerely." With that being said, this was overall, in my opinion, in this reaction part of the night, late, trying to assess everything after everything that just happened, an abysmal game for the offensive lineman pass blocking. Peyton was running for his life, false starts, all that stuff. So if we're going to really hone in on something that's negative, that is the side of this. We don't need to sit in that the entire time. There's so much more to be happy about at the end of this game than there is to be upset about that. And I would add on to Locked On Wrestling. Good things happen when Thorne has time to step up in the pocket. Let's talk about it all the way around. So yes, he can, and I think you maybe even meant that too. I don't know. I'm probably reading into your words a little bit, but certainly great things happen when a quarterback steps into the pocket and delivers a throw. But you must be given time to do so. Tommy brings up a great point. The biggest part of this team this year is they did not quit. We have seen that happen in the past, and great character. I would agree with this. I certainly felt like all throughout this year, all throughout this game, I mean, fans were behaving this way. Saw this narrative heading the same exact way. Auburn can't finish. Auburn can't. That's the story the entire night as it's all kind of going down and unraveling in some ways. But tonight, Auburn, with all of its deficiencies at times at the offensive line, I would say there's some probably things to talk about on defense on the negative side of things too. Special team staff snafus, penalties, all of that, fought through it and found a way to win. Al Davis said it best. Just win, baby, win. TJ says, do you think Jordan Hare is haunted? It's haunted for us this season, but it's certainly just haunted. I would call it magic. I would understand why one Nicholas Saban would consider it haunted. It is just magic. Jacob with a great point for PT. Taking that hit on that long run late in the game is why he's our guy. No one's going to ever question, and if you do, then you just kind of prove your lack of character. His heart, his desire to lay himself out there for his team, and I'm very happy that he gets a dub tonight that he himself fought really, 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 really hard for. JB giving credit to the energy in the stadium. It's amazing what happens when we're given a night game. We kind of show out, right? I mean, we show out in general. The campus was packed all day. I mean, obviously progressively throughout the day, but campus was just packed from about, I'd say about 3 on. It just, everywhere I turned, there were crowds, throngs of people that were hard to get around. Tiger Walk was incredible. I took a shot and shared it on X tonight of the aftermath of Tiger Walk. And there's not space to move around. So we talk about energy. We want to talk about the family showing up and showing out. See a lot of you talking about the Bama game. We're keeping our focus on Auburn tonight. Certainly we can celebrate that a little bit as Auburn people, but our focus is here tonight. Let's not be like them. Oh, interesting stat that I'm just having pop up to me in the team stats. Total yards tonight. And if this is, look at this, 464 yards for Texas A&M. Auburn, 469 yards. A difference of 5 yards. What is the difference in the game? 2 points. If that does not tell the tale of the tape tonight, I don't know what does. Certainly that's, just one picture you can paint. There are several others about how things break out and compare from there. 297 passing, 301 for Auburn, 4-point differential there, 4-yard differential. Rush yards, 167 to 168. There's your story of the game. Right there. Right there. I mean, that just stuck out to me like, I would say a sore thumb, but it really just tells the tale of the tape. Let's see here. Leslie giving a shout out to the team. Certainly deserve this win for all their efforts and hard work and not giving up throughout the season. A couple more stats to look at. Jarquez Hunter tonight has himself a game with, I didn't even realize he had 3 touchdowns. 28 carries, 130 yards, 3 touchdowns, a long of 24.6 per carry. Peyton has 11 carries tonight for 38, 3.5 per carry. So not a great night running for him overall, but certainly some very gritty runs for him. Damari gets 2 runs tonight, so they just fed it to Jarquez like people wanted. Granted, we played in overtime, which kind of milks those stats a little bit. Your receiving stats tonight, Cam Coleman, 7 for 128, 2 touchdowns. Jarquez Hunter, 4 for 23. Lambert Smith, 2 catches for 1. That can't be right. They must not have put the 2 catches for 104. That can't be right. That last one's not in here or something. Fairweather, 2 for 20. Simmons, 2 for 5. Probably should have had a touchdown. That wasn't called for a pass interference. 1 for 17 for Robert Lewis, and then Alston with 1 for 4. So spread the ball around decently, but you obviously went to your primary targets that you had. Look at the time of possession difference. Okay, see, I like this. I like when y'all start giving me things to look at. Let's see if this is giving me a reaction. Wow. So it's not as drastic as I maybe thought you were leading towards, but it certainly is something to point out. Time of possession tonight. Texas A&M, 36 minutes, 30 seconds. Auburn, 23-25. 23 minutes, 25. And I'm assuming, doing math real quick in my head, I'm assuming this is counting overtime. So for a significant portion tonight, Texas A&M holds the ball, and they couldn't get the job done. Now, granted, they're on the road, but certainly didn't do it like I normally try to do. I've been doing these days. I'm going to give credit where credit is due, even if we had lost. I'm going to do this. Texas A&M, wow, came back from 21-0, had us on the ropes, and still fought hard in overtime. And I would respect you as a team. So, because I want us to have a respectful win. Let's see here. 100-yard rushing streak for a dub is still alive. Okay. Wasn't aware of that. JB says the look in PT eyes, he looked determined to finish his last game in Jordan Hare with a win. Definitely a guy that's history here, not going to be overall the most popular, but certainly the finish for him is something that he can hang his cap on and not be ashamed about at all. Auburn hit big plays in the first half. That's why the time of possession. I would say yes, but also our offense stalled out in the second half as well, and they took advantage of, and they went on long drives a lot. They just didn't capitalize. If Texas A&M capitalizes on some of the drives they had in the first half, this is a much different ballgame. Probably not a good one for Auburn. A&M is a good team, and their DL is one of the best. Certainly a team that is not lacking in talent whatsoever. Even with transfer portal, even with a coaching change, you're certainly going to have a lot of what they garnered under Jimbo Fisher left over. But certainly it's something to be respected. I'm not going to sit here and try to pump up this win and say, oh, it's much better than people think just because we won. No, but this is a team that has shown the ability to be a formidable team in the SEC all year. And this is an impressive win for Auburn, taking down a ranked opponent. Also, keep in mind, Isaiah Rakes tonight, our guy, came from Texas, technically came from USC, but it's weird, like half a semester he spent there or something, or spring, transferred to us after originally being at Texas A&M. So taking down his old teammates. DJ Durkin, former defensive coordinator for Texas A&M. Told y'all the storylines amongst all these things are just just really vast. All right, couple more questions and comments from you guys tonight, and then we'll start kind of rounding it out, just looking through to see if there's anything else we want to talk about. We did not mention defense yet, so let's give our defensive guys a little bit of credit. I know certainly they're not as proud as they probably normally would be of the overall picture of their performance, but certainly they got the job done as well. Jaron Thompson tonight, if you had him as your leading tackler on our show, you are correct. I don't think anybody did. 11 tackles, 8 solo, 1 interception for him. I think he probably does. He's got a good case for player of the game. Jalen McLeod, 10 tackles, 8 solo, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss. I don't know. That's pretty comparable right there. That interception was huge in the first half, Jaron. But I certainly think that's got it. And Dorian Mausi in the top 3, no shocker there. Eugene Asante has a great day with 7 tackles, and so does Caleb Harris. So you've got 2 DBs, an edge rusher, and 2 linebackers showing up in the top 5 of your group tonight. So that shows you how involved everybody was in. I thought, frankly, the defense did a decent job of containing what we've all heard about Marcel Reed. Again, this is just my initial reaction, having just now settled in after all the shenanigans after the game. But I feel like, I don't even know where I was going with that. I'm so tired. I was talking something about how spread out everything was in terms of our top tackle getters tonight. DeMarcus Reddick has 3, Kayan Lee with 3, Rakes with 3, Bleedy with 3, and then several others. So, can we just give a shout out to our seniors? I mean, really, just fun night for them. Great to get a win to end your time here. So many classes in the past have not been able to say that, whether it was last year with the Iron Bowl. I believe the year before that, we would have been able to pull off a win. Yeah, because it was Texas. No, it was somebody besides Texas. It was like a rinky-dink game. But anyway, let's see here. Anything else about the game specifically, guys? We're not going to really discuss rumors and stuff here. I wouldn't really do that or anything else. If you got any other comments, questions, topics about specifically the game and Tumor's Corner, all that stuff, drop it in here and we'll cover it. Let me give you a couple of reminders here. Sorry for the bouncing screen. We got a lot of stuff. Hey, as busy as I am right now, it's only going to get busier. Here's what we got coming up this week for you. The Auburn Experience, episode 103, is scheduled to go live tomorrow. What time? That's a great question. Right now, we're scheduled to go at 9 p.m. Eastern time, our regularly scheduled program time. That could have a potential happen earlier. Don't think it's going to happen, but just be aware you might want to be flexible. But right now, plan for 9 Eastern time tomorrow. Austin and I did sit together for a little bit during this game. We will have a lot to talk about together about this and many other things this week on the Auburn Experience podcast. So many reaction shows this week. We got Auburn, Iowa State basketball postgame. It will be late. We will likely have a late one as well for that, at least one other one right after that. But essentially, you're going to have 3 reaction shows for basketball back to back Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, which is why we're not doing our Wednesday night stream. So anticipate 3 post-game shows for 3 days. We will have likely, it is the holiday season, an Auburn versus Alabama preview and prediction show. Probably going to push that to Friday for you guys. Probably do it at 8 o'clock like we normally would. So be looking out for that. We won't do that on Thanksgiving night. And, of course, a post-game show for Auburn, Alabama. Should be interesting, don't you think? Oh, man. All right, anything else here? Does this mean that the Austin curse is over, Kyle? It might mean that. I think it's been over for a while, though. This is a good point to bring up, JB. If this atmosphere doesn't entice recruits, I don't know what will. Well, keep in mind, not every recruit is like wowed by, they're wowed, but not enough to sign on the dotted line. But certainly what this does show, fans show up and show out. We talk about that. We preach about it, but we lived it out tonight. And boy, do they celebrate good. So there were recruits that I didn't know them by name or haven't recognized their faces yet, but I could see the carts out there. Obviously, were recruits. We're at Tumor's Corner tonight. Certainly something we gave them something to think about. You want to be a part of this? More of this is coming. Hop on now. Anything else? I think we've covered it. 41-43 or 43-41, quadruple overtime. Your Auburn Tigers are victorious. We end the season on a high note. And I look so much better predicting this win at the beginning of the season. Little did I know this would be the journey towards it. Little did I know that this would be the route in the game to get this win. But certainly, it makes me no less proud to be an Auburn Tiger and be part of this Auburn family. Thank you guys so much for your patience tonight. Thank you for those that were watching live. Thank you for those that come back on the replay. Appreciate you guys. Tons of content coming out from this weekend. Stay tuned, and so much this week. It's going to be fun, and it's going to be busy. I'm going to get some rest. So I hope you all will as well. So until I talk to you again, y'all be safe, be good, and War Eagle.